To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache, and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consumption devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep perchance, to dream. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. But that, the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment, with this regarded their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action.
My lord, I was sewing in my closet. Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, ungartered, and down-guyed to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking together, and with a look so piteous and purport, as if he had been loosed out of hell, to speak of horrors. He comes before me.
Mad for thy love.
My lord, I do not know, but truly, I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist, and he held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and, with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face, as he would draw it. So long he stayed so. At last, a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, as it did seem to shatter all his bulk.
I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth have you so slander any moment's leisure as to give word or talk with the Lord Hamlet.
I shall. My lord, there is a willow, grows aslant a brook, shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There, with fantastic garlands did she come, of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples, that liberal shepherds give a grosser name.
But our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There, on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds clambering to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like, a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old lauds, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream, to be, or not to be.
There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray you, love, remember. And there is pansies. That's for thoughts. There's fennel for you, and columbines. There's rue for you, and here's some for me. We call it herb of grace, or Sundays. Oh, you must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died.
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night. If thou didst ever thy dear father love, revenge his foul and most unnatural murder. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Remember me.